Hi friends, today I'm going to tell you about a 2018 movie called Project Gutenberg. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like it. Enjoy watching it. Artists Lee Mann and his girlfriend Ian live in Vancouver. Ian creates original art while Lee is more interested in reproductions of paintings by famous artists. He is very talented at his craft and can reproduce almost any painting to the smallest detail. However, his work is not popular with dealers and gallery exhibit organizers because they can't display fake paintings. One evening, Lee returns home and hears her manager Ian tell her that she must stop being Lee's co-painter if she wants to succeed, and Ian in turn says that if he won't represent Lee, she doesn't need such a manager. After working hard, they manage to get a spot in the art show. Many people like Ian's work, but Lee's paintings are heavily criticized. One of the guests named Artist calls his paintings fake and Ian in a rage pours his drink in his face and asks him to leave. Lee follows the man to apologize and learns that the whole thing was a setup so they could meet in private. He says he recognizes Lee's talent for fakes and praises him for his quality. They go to a bar to chat and the artist says he has a job for Lee. If he wants to change his life after this meeting, Lee returns to the gallery and burns his painting. Satisfied with his decision, he calls the artist the next day and agrees to work for him. When asked which paintings he wants to repeat, the artist shows him a $100 bill. It turns out he plans to make a bunch of fake bills that will be indistinguishable from the original. Since they can't just print them, the artist needs someone like Lee on the team. At first Lee refuses, as it is illegal. But when he realizes he will be swimming in money, he accepts the offer. He returns home that same day and sees Ian leaving the house. She decides to leave him after a stunt he pulled at an art gallery that cost her a lot of money. Lee then joins the artist and his crew on a private plane that flies to Thailand. Lee still plans to get Ian back by making some money. The team consists of printmakers, Mr. Yam, an expert in color theory, and two people in charge of security and sales. The new 96 US $100 bills feature a duplist version of Franklin's portrait, enlarged by 50%, allowing for more detail and lines. Even using the highest resolution industrial printer, the picture would be blurry and inaccurate. Moreover, Franklin's collar has a micro print on it that reads for the United States of America. An industrial printer could never print this with such precision, which is where Lee comes into play, because he can draw the bill better than the printer. Secondly, the paper on the original bills turns the black ink of the counterfeit detection pen into yellow. It helps the bankers identify the fake, and it's up to the artist to find a way to get such paper. Over the next few weeks, Lee draws the $100 bill with absolute precision without missing a single stripe or line. The watermark and security thread is another challenge, for which they are going to use the Chinese painting method, in which the actual painting is placed between two papers, which are pressed and the middle layer is highlighted. Next comes the printing process, which Uncle Yam does. He makes a printing plate that applies the paint with an accuracy of 0.010 of a millimeter. On the proofs, they see that there is no more effect. This means they have succeeded. The artist then finds a way to acquire the right paper, which is the main raw material for production. They travel to Eastern Europe to a telephone directory company. It turns out that the paper used to make the telephone directories is the paper that is perfect for making the $100 bill. So they buy a huge shipment of this paper, disguised as a Chinese comic book company. And after delivering the paper to their hideout, they immediately start making counterfeit bills. After 6 months of working with the artist, Lee returns to Vancouver to return the keys to Ian. He does not want to see her, and decides to leave the keys on the table. The artist thinks he is a coward for giving up so easily, and a fight ensues between them. Suddenly, the artist puts on a mask and pulls out a gun, and they join the gang in robbing a policing car, and Lee finally realizes that his boss is a deranged man. Then we are introduced to a counterfeit bill expert on the police force named Wing. He is called to Hong Kong from Canada because the police have received a signal about a sudden increase in counterfeit dollar bills around the world. Wing meets the head of the Hong Kong police, Inspector Ho. They go on an undercover mission and pose as clients wanting to buy counterfeit money. After several meetings with many brokers, they are allowed to meet the artist at a party on a yacht. However, their hopes of catching the criminal are dashed when they learn that the artist has sent his brokers instead. They test Wing in several ways and find that he inspires confidence. One afternoon, Lee approaches the artist and declares that he no longer wants to be on his team, yet he promises to find a way to continue their business before he leaves. Next, we are shown how the team travels around the world and sells their money internationally. The profits are insane, as is the demand for their product. Then they get the highest offer from Thai crime boss General. They arrive at his hideout for a business meeting, but it turns out that the general killed the artist's father. So it's not about business. They have come to kill him. He asks Lee to activate the explosives in his jacket, and a few seconds later the car explodes and a firefight begins. All of the general's guards are killed except for a counterfeit money expert named Sarah. She catches fire, but Lee saves her. Upon her return, Sarah is invited to join the team because of her experience. Lee cares for her and a friendship develops between them. Painter gives her a fake passport with the last name Ian, after Lee's ex-girlfriend. After this incident, the team takes a 1-year break. During this time, Lee and the artist return to Vancouver to meet Ian and win her back. By this time she has become a famous artist, but things go awry when they find out that she is engaged to her manager. In the following scene on a yacht, they sail to a business meeting with police officer Wing. The artist makes inquiries about the customer and learns his true identity. He also learns that the police were able to trace them because Uncle Ian broke the rules and bought the watch with counterfeit money and decide to kill his family for this mistake. Uncle Ian pleads not to hurt his wife and children, but the artist shoots him. The team then meets Wing, who has no idea they know who he is. When they find themselves in a locked room, the artist asks Lee to kill Wing, but he refuses. In the end, he has to do it himself. To get Lee over his fear of murder, the artist kidnaps Ian of her fiancée. He gives Lee a gun and asks him to kill them in a way that would make it easier for him to kill the people he hates. However, Lee again refuses. In a fit of rage, the artist himself kills her fiancé, and Lee saves Ian. Sarah knows that Lee will also be killed afterwards. She remembers that he once saved her life long ago and attacks the rest of the team. In the ensuing gunfight, everyone is killed, and Lee ends up shooting the artist. Sarah then takes him to a resort that the artist bought for them. They learn that he is still alive because the police never found his body. Lee learns that Ian is going to organize a wake in honor of her late husband. He suspects that the artist will be there and will try to kill her to get to him. Even though Sarah begs him not to go, he does it anyway. On the way, however, he accidentally uses counterfeit money and is apprehended by the police. He is taken to Hong Kong under the protection of Inspector Ho and interrogated. Lee fears that the artist will kill him if he reveals his identity, so he keeps quiet. A few days later, Ian comes to him and convinces him to cooperate with the police. They agree that for revealing the artist's identity and his criminal history, Lee will be released into witness protection. Lee then begins to tell the police about his past, beginning with his relationship with Ian, how he met the artist, the process of making money, how he witnessed his first murder, and so on. After he tells everything, he helps the police compile sketches of the two remaining people from Sarah's team and the artist. At the end of the day, Lee and Ian remain in the hotel with security. The police slowly begin a search for the artist as they have his sketch. While they are searching, Inspector Holm notices the artist at police headquarters disguised in a police uniform. She and her team arrest him, but it turns out that this man has been a police officer for several years and can in no way be an artist. This is especially strange, because he was the one who had been playing the role of the artist from the beginning. Then it turns out that the policeman was the man who helped Ho bring Lee from Thailand to Hong Kong, and Lee remembered his face. In the flashback, we are shown that Lee and the artist are the same person. Lee created the artist in his imagination to escape from reality. Lee committed all the crimes. He killed Mr. Yam and his family. He was the one who killed Ian's fiancée in the shooting, and the shooting happened because of the conflict between them. Another shock comes when it became clear that the girl who came to the police to see Lee was not Ian, but Sarah. She was so obsessed with Lee that she had plastic surgery because of the burns on her face. She came to save her lover and they escaped from the hotel, killing the guards. In the next scene, we see the couple together in bed. Sarah is upset that she will always be a fake for Lee, to which Lee replies that a fake is often much better than the original. The next day, they get on a boat and flee Hong Kong, but on the way they are surrounded by police, and to end their torment, Sarah blows up the ship and they are killed. At the end of the film, Inspector Ho approaches the real Ian to inform her that her fiancé's killer is dead. Looking at Lee's picture, she recognizes him as her roommate. It turns out that he has fantasized about his relationship with Yen even though they were never together. That's where the movie ends. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and like it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.